We have learned some important trigonometric functions already. And in today's class, we're going to learn the other. So what do you mean the other? Because there are three more. Trigonometric functions. Yes, there are three more. So we learned sine theta. Given an angle, we learn sine theta. And then we learn cosine theta. And then we learn the tangent theta. Right? So sine, cosine, tangent. And today we're going to learn three more. The first one is the reciprocal of this cosine. So that's called a secant theta, which is 1 over cosine theta. That's not bad. It's just a reciprocal of it. And the other one is called a cosecant theta, which is 1 over sine theta. And the last one is a cotangent theta, which is 1 over tangent theta. Okay, so it's not bad. We learned this 3, and then we learned 3 new. So which is the reciprocal. But be very careful. Here is a sine, cosine, and here's a cosecant and a secant. So secant is the reciprocal of sine. Cosecant is the reciprocal of secant is reciprocal of a cosine. Cosecant is reciprocal of sine. There's only one code there. Okay, so all right. Now, what does that mean? Can you find the 6 function values for any given theta? That's what we're going to do today. Right now, I would like to let you to review a little bit about the unit circle with a radius 1. This is x. This is 0, and here's y. For a point, if I give you this theta, right? Can you find the coordinates of this point here? Yes. And if you drop down here, that's the cosine, so that should be the cosine theta and sine theta. Do you remember this? Yep. Okay, now let me expand this a little bit. I'm going to expand that into, I should always have a better way to draw this, okay? So x, y, and with the same angle, theta, but this time I have a radius r, not 1. This is 1. This is unit circle, okay? But if that comes with r, then this theta is the same. If you draw this, drop that down here, this is a right triangle, should be similar to this right triangle, which means all the sides should be in proportion. So this is 1, this special radius is 1, and now becomes r. Therefore, this coordinate should be r cosine theta and r sine theta. Okay? Just enlarge that by a factor of r. And or if I give you x and a y, which is a coordinate here, do you see that x is r cosine theta, which means cosine theta divided by r both sides, that'll be x over r. So cosine theta is x over r. That's right. And my y is r sine theta. So sine theta will be y over r, right? Because from here you divided by r both sides, so you get that. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. All right, now what about tangent theta? Tangent theta is y over x, so it's y over x. Once you know x and y, can you find a sine, cosine, tangent? Yes, you do. And then once you have the sine, cosine, tangent, can you find a secant, cosecant, and cotangent? Yes. Okay, so that's the idea of this today's class. Now, let me give you a couple of examples here. Okay, so I give you give you negative 12, 5, which is here. So here's a negative 12, and here's a 5. All right, negative 12 is exactly this point, right? So here's the point. Here's the negative negative 12, 5. So I want you to write down here. I ask you to write. Come on, focus, please. So I ask you to write x equals negative 12, y equals 5. Write that first. And if you connect this 0 to negative 12, 5, if you connect this, so the length here is r, and this is your theta. Okay? Okay, can you find r? R squared equals x squared plus y squared. Okay, x is negative 12, y is 5, so r squared is negative 12 squared plus 5 squared is 144 positive plus 25, and that's 169. And if you take the square root on both sides, so you should get r equals 13, because we only take the positive answer, right? Positive. So r. If I know x, I know y, I know r. Can I find the 6 trigonometric function value? Here, sine theta equals y over r, which is y over r. So that's 5 over 13. Cosine theta is x over r, which is x over r, negative 12 over 13. Now you see why I ask you to write this down here, because later you don't have to go back to here to think about that. And then tangent theta is y over x. So y over x, so that's negative 5 over 12. Okay, and if we take the reciprocal of this 3, I got 3 more trigonometric function values. The reciprocal of this is secant theta. You can either go secant theta is r over x, or 1 over cosine theta. Same thing, doesn't matter which way you remember that. It's just the reciprocal of this number, so it's negative 13 over 12. Okay. And then cosecant theta, you can either use r over y, or you can use 1 over sine theta, which is the reciprocal of that. So it's 13 over 5. Okay. And the last one, cotangent theta, is either x over y, or you remember that is the reciprocal of tangent theta, which is negative 12 over 5. See, if I give you this point, which means I give you x and y, and you can use this by the Pythagorean theorem to get r. Once you have x, you have y, you have r, then you can find the trigonometric function values, 6 of them for this angle. Okay, keep this in mind. But did you notice that all those 6 trigonometric function values are related to each other? So if I give you one, can you find the other? Yep, let me give you another example. Okay. Another example here. Given, I give you this, sine theta. Sine theta is 4 over 5. Okay, and also I give you this theta is between 0 and a pi over 2, which is means it's in the quadrant number 1, right? So it's like a acute angle. Can you find the other 5? Yes. Now think about this, sine theta, and we know it's a 4 over 5, but we know if this is also y over r. So there are 2 ways to do it. One is put that in the unit circle and just write this r as 1, and then so your y is going to be 4 over 5, and then use that Pythagorean theorem to find x. Or easily you can just let r to be 5, let y to be 4. It should be the same because they should be in the proportion. And then can you find x? Yes, because x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So x squared plus y squared is 16, and r squared is 25. So x squared is 9, therefore x is 3. And of course, if you're familiar with the right triangles, you know 3, 4, 5 form a right triangle. So that is this angle. 4, 3, 5. Theta, right? That's a theta in the first quadrant. Okay, I give you a sine. Can you find cosine? Cosine is, do you need to write it? Should be x over r. Okay, so x over r, so that should be 3 over 5. And let me just write it just in case. Okay, sine theta is a 4 over 5. And what about tangent theta? Tangent theta is y over x, which is a 4 over 3. And I write a secant theta is the reciprocal of a cosine, so it's a 5 over 3. Okay. Cosecant theta is the reciprocal of a sine, so it's a 5 over 4. And the cotangent theta should be the reciprocal of this tangent, so it's 3 over 4. Now, if I give you one trigonometric function value, and I tell you where that angle stays, or the terminal line stays in which quadrant, basically tells you the sign of x and y. And then you can always find out r, and you can always find out, x, y, r, and then also plug into here, you can find the function value. Okay, the 6 trigonometric function values of that angle. All right, now next thing you need to know is how to use the calculator to find the function value. Now I want you to take a look at this. This is it's an iPhone, and the scientific calculator on iPhone. Did you notice that you have sine, you have cosine, you have tangent? So all the time you can find out these 3 trigonometric function values. And after you find the sine theta, or the sine value, you can just always come here to take the reciprocal of that. Then you can get a cosecant. Once you find a cosine, you take the reciprocal of the cosine, you get a secant. And of course, if you have a tangent, then you take the reciprocal, you get a cotangent. Let me give you an example. I give you theta is 0.8. First of all, you have to tell me whether this measurement is in degree or is in radian. It doesn't have the letter degree sign here, so it's in radian. And the 0.8, how big is that? Think about this. This is pi, right? That's pi in terms of radian. And this is a pi from here. The 90 degree is a pi over 2, which is 1.5 something. So 0.8 should be somewhere here. And that's a 0.8, which means all your sine, cosine, tangent should be positive. Okay, you don't really need to draw this, because once you put in the calculator, it's going to do that for you right away. All right, now can you find a sine theta or sine 0.8? Two ways to do it. One is sine. Excuse me. So you open this parenthesis, and you can put a 0.8, you close it, you get a number. Okay, and what we need, most of the time we keep 4 decimal places, so I get a 0.7174. So that's that. Or another way to do is you put 0.8 first, and then you click a sign. See, automatically they put this 0.8 in the parentheses, and they're using the radians, so equal. You should get exactly the same answer. Okay, my suggestion is once you have a sign, automatically take next step. You get a cosecant 0.8, which is 1 over sine 0.8, because you have a 0.8 sine already. You just need to take the reciprocal. So you click this 1 over x. Okay, so you get a 1 over this, and then you hit equal. You get the answer 1.3940. I don't suggest you to do this. I don't suggest you to do 1 divided by 0.7174. The reason is, did you notice here? Okay, so this is 0.3939, and your answer is a 3940. There's a little bit of rounding error here, because this one is not very accurate. We rounded it to 4 decimal places. So I would suggest you to do the reciprocal function to get a more accurate answer. Next one, I'm going to get what is the cosine 0.8. Okay, so 0.8 cosine 0.6967. So by taking the reciprocal of that, I will have being 1 over. Now, you don't see something before that. Actually, it's 1 divided by this. I hope iPhone will fix this problem later. So you hit equal, you get 1.4353. But at least it shows you what they're doing on top, right? 1 divided by that is this. So you get sine, cosine, secant, cosecant. The last one, tangent 0.8. So 0.8 ding tangent equal. So that's 1.0296. What about the cotangent? 0.8 should be the reciprocal of this guy. Again, see, it won't show you that, but once you click equal, it shows you something on the top. And the answer of this cotangent is 0.9712. Okay, so that's how you use the calculator to find the 6 trigonometric function values. If you're using degree, let's say 20 degree, if theta is 20 degree, okay, and then you just use degree. You tell the calculator, I'm using the degree now, okay, and then you can just do sine 20 degree equals, so you do 20 sine equal, that is 0.3420. You take the reciprocal, you get a cosecant of 20 degree equals 2.9238, and a cosine 20 degree should be, so 20 cosine is 0.9397, and then you take the reciprocal of that, you get a secant 20 degree, which is 1 over this guy, so you get a 1.0642. Okay, so just 2 more. Let me just finish that. So tangent 20 degree. 20 tangent equal 0.3640 because you round it up and that's a 40. And then you take the reciprocal of that, you get a cotangent. So cotangent 20 degree is going to be 2.7475. Okay, so if I give you the angle in terms of a degree or measured in degree, you can also use the calculator to do that. So I'm using this as an example to show you how to use a calculator to find the 6 trigonometric functions of any angle. Okay, all right, that's it for this